The previous Switch had a massive drift issue where over a long period of time, it would start drifting like to the left or right. So if you're playing Mario Kart, your character would just be going in a direction. You couldn't really do anything about it.
It's like those shopping carts you get where one wheel's messed up and you're always like fighting against it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have a bunch of leaks.
We do.
And we're going on some leaks from On Leaks and 91 Mobiles. The funny thing is, if you're watching the video version of this, the B-roll on screen right now might be real from
the real Switch.
from the announcement.
What if the event tomorrow is just another alarm clock?
Alarmo 2.
Nintendo alarm clock. I forgot about that.
They did make it.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm not a huge Switch user. How do you guys use a Switch a lot?
I don't use it as often.
I have one.
It's
I have
good
one
for
as well.
flights, and that's the only time I've found a lot of use in a Switch. But then I started using my iPad on flights. But it's an extremely popular console.
Yeah.
You can dock it with your TV. You can use it anywhere. So people were very excited about this new Switch a couple years after the original, and there are some interesting rumors about what might be new about the new Switch. First of all, there was a Switch OLED. My thoughts on the Switch were always like, wow, it's nice, but the screen's not that great. Then they had a Switch OLED, which had a better screen. It's not some incredible 4K
It's a little
screen,
bit bigger
but-
too. One from
I have the OLEDs. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Switch stuff. So there's a slightly updated design. It's, again, I think slightly bigger. And then as I scroll down a little bit here, so USB Type-C on the top of the console, which is better.
And bottom.
top
And bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, even. Okay,
Which is
so
great.
you have the choice.
Yeah.
Isn't 8 from what I'm reading is 8.4 inch screen compared to the 7-inch screen.
So a
that's
little
a pretty
bigger.
That's
solid.
pretty big.
Yeah, that's
That's
super
both
solid.
thinner bezels and bigger footprint, I think. A little
Yeah.
bit of both. There's these blue and orange accents on the Joy-Cons themselves, on the like D-pad. Or,
Yeah, so to describe what we're seeing in the leak is the whole console itself is black, and then the color pop you get is underneath the joysticks. But not only that, but and I believe this kind of looks like that, the way the connections for the Joy-Cons
Yes.
to the screen is a magnetic
Yes.
switch, which sounds so good.
It's really cool.
And so the old Switch Joy-Cons slid down on a track.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the worst, but the problem was when you were using them as individual Joy-Cons, and you had to like slide this little LR button bumper on, you could slide that on the wrong one and it
Yes.
would get like stuck and be a huge,
I've done this many
huge
times.
pain in the neck.
Yeah.
Every Switch owner knows how annoying that is.
Yeah.
So one thing with this magnetic switch is it looks like there's a little more room above each Joy-Con, and it looks like there's a little better button layout for not having to use something like that bumper.
I didn't really like the bumper that you would attach to it to be able to play
It
with
was
a single Joy-Con.
Super cheap.
It was
feeling.
super cheap,
Um,
yeah. Also, they are planning on probably switching them out for Hall Effect. What are they called?
Oh my goodness, joysticks.
Wow, what is going on today, guys?
joystick.
We need more brain power. The previous Switch had a massive drift issue where over a long period of time, it would start drifting like to the left or right. So if you're playing Mario Kart, your character would just be going in a direction. You couldn't really do anything about it.
It's like those shopping carts you get where one wheel's messed up and you're always like fighting against it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it was $60 for another pair of Joy-Cons. So it was like very frustrating. So it'd be very nice if these were Hall Effect instead. USB-C on the top and bottom is very useful. Previously on the regular Switch, it was just on the bottom because you could mount it into the dock, and then that would be the whole point of the console. Is sometimes it's on your TV, sometimes it is handheld. But it was very frustrating if it was low on power and you were playing it handheld, because you either had to hold it, or if you wanted to have it on a table while also using the Joy-Con separately, it was very difficult to do because you had to plug it in from the bottom. So you kind of had to like MacGyver this weird angle and like break your USB-C cable in the process. So having it in the top and bottom, super sick. It should be a lot more powerful, obviously.
Yep.
We don't know if they're going to debut any flagship games for the Switch 2 at the announcement, but
I'm not sure. One other
they
thing
have
is
by now.
the stand on this looks way better.
Oh, yeah.
It used to just be like one singular kickstand out the back. According to these leaks, it looks like it's one giant U shape in the back, which will be so much more sturdy sitting on a table.
The OLED was the
Did
OLED
it?
kickstand was completely redesigned.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, so the original Switch had only like one little L bracket that was plastic and really finicky that would like pop out. The OLED one was a metal bracket that was actually pretty good.
This looks like the
I liked it a lot.
the like Surface X.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
The Surface Pro.
Surface.
It was
Pro,
very
yeah.
similar to like a Surface Pro design, and I liked it a lot. And it was also metal, which was really nice. This one looks even more different.
It also looks like, is that an extra button on the Joy-Con? The back side of one of these leaks look like
it does.
you
That
have
is an
your
extra button.
RL button, but there's like almost
R2.
potentially an inside one at the top of the back.
Maybe.
I'm always down for more buttons.
It is very not Nintendo to like kind of add a bunch of new stuff like this, but
But like, if we're talking weird Nintendo controllers, the N64 controller made no sense at all.
No,
So
for sure.
I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to do
Totally.
something a little weird.
yeah, Nintendo has been bringing a lot more games onto the Switch. There's a lot more indie titles. There's a lot more traditional console-esque titles because for a very long time, Nintendo was sort of more focused on the cartoony aspects of video gaming, whereas now they're bringing the more high fidelity stuff to Switch. So it would be beneficial to have these extra buttons because a lot of those high fidelity games use a lot of extra buttons.
Yeah, I always picture the Switch as like the king casual gamer console.
Well, that's what's awesome about it, though, is because like you could still pick, do I want an Xbox or a PlayStation or a PC, and then be like, all three of those people also have a Switch
And a
because
Game Boy.
it's cheaper
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
it's got a bunch of other more casual games.
It's separate
It's
from
fun to
Steam
play
Deck
on.
audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I-
is this one gonna be cheaper? You think?
That's my two main questions.
cheaper
is-
than the PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but versus the
Yeah.
Switch One.
No.
So,
I doubt
so
it.
my two questions are: one, do we think battery will be significantly different in any way? And two, will the price be significantly different in any way?
I never think battery will be significantly different anyway because anyone, one day use or whatever. But like that's not even what this really was.
Yeah, I mean, when
I
you
don't know.
scale the size of something, generally the battery life gets better even if the screen is bigger. So there is that. It'll probably be better battery. But as far as the price, I would doubt it because I would bet the components are much more expensive.
Yeah, you're adding magnetic Joy-Cons.
The
that
Joy-Cons
by
are
itself,
actually good now. They have potentially
Yeah.
Hall effect. There's a giant OLED screen. There's
Fair.
a more impressive
What
Gonna
was-
be more
processor.
powerful, yeah.
there's
What was
like-
the Switch OLED MSRP when it came out?
350, I
Is that
think.
That can't be right.
I think it was
350.
349.
350. Yeah. So like, are we thinking 399?
I could see 399.
I could
I
see
was gonna say
399.
500.
I'm
No, that's
taking
too much.
I'm taking the under on all of those.
Yeah.
I think the Switch components have been in production for so long and have come down in price for so long that 349 they could have sold for 250 today and still made money on.
Yeah.
But now that they've been making so many of
true.
them, they can relaunch this new one at 350.
It has been close to 8 years since the original Switch. came
350 would be awesome.
Yeah,
299 was a great price for the first.
out. Yeah,
That'd be a good sweet spot. It is 2025, so they could go crazy. Tell the viewers, thanks for watching.
This is the opposite. Thanks for watching.
everybody.
Like and subscribe.
It just drafted a text message, so I'm wondering, Marques, do you have a contact in your phone called the viewers?
How else do we talk to them?
But I have one called The Rock, and that's who it thought it should text.
Is it actually the Rock?
Wait,